Track-based assembly approaches the difficulty of assembling roller tracks by the STEP employees through creating a tool that allows easier assembly, enabling a broader employee population to carry out this task.
Our goal was to help some of the employees at the Services to Enhance Potentials facility in Detroit, otherwise known as STEP. The STEP facility helps people with physical and mental disabilities find employment in order to help them attain a working wage. There are many jobs which are available to the employees at STEP, one of which is to assemble roller tracks for use in conveyor systems. Our group noticed that the workers had significant difficulty in assembling due to the dexterity issues among other assorted issues revolving around the placement and alignment of components. We made it our goal to make this easier and more easily accessible for the workers at STEP. What we are looking at now is an example of what current STEP employees must do in order to construct the roller track assembly. For our group's initial prototype, we started off with just a block of wood, some composite material, and some popsicle sticks. Basically things that we had available in our classroom at the time. And with it we were able to kind of create a general concept for what we wanted as well as the shape of our product. Once we were able to actually assemble it and put our pieces together, we managed to drill holes for pin alignment, as well as glue the PVC to the block of wood for the wheel alignment, and use popsicle sticks to line up the bottom plate. Once we got the green light for our design from the STEP facilities, we began taking measurements of each component so we could create our product using 3D CAD software. We had decided that creating two parts, a guiding base, and a mold-like plate that could be slid back and forth to designate the placement of each part would be best. We were able to 3D print this first of what would be many of our prototypes in the studio. Unfortunately, due to unforeseen tolerancing issues, our first prototype was not functional at all. So back to CAD we went and tried increasing the tolerances further to try and fit each component into the proper spot. So now with our first model done, and it didn't work, we were able to go ahead and get started on that second prototype. The second prototype, we were able to open up the tolerances, and it actually was functional, but still we realized that there was a lot more we can add to make it more accessible and overall more ergonomic and easy to use for the employees at STEP. Once we got to the third iteration of our product, we tried to focus more on the ergonomics of it and the feel. By doing so, we were able to expand the width of the side of the top plate as well as the sides of the base plate. And by doing so, we made it so you can more easily push off that top plate for when you have a completed product. We also added a needle on the back of it to make it so it would be more difficult for the top plate to actually lift up and fall off of the base plate. Now on our fourth iteration of our final prototype, we decided to add a bar to the back of the base plate as well as a back plate to the top sliding plate. We did this because we realized that initially it was very difficult to separate the top and bottom parts from each other with just one hand. And by doing this, we are able to create the option to just create a pinching motion in order to separate the top and base plate. And now with our final prototype, should be version 6, I believe. We finally have a product that we believe would be the most robust of ones that we have so far. We decided to do away with the pins on the bottom of the top plate and replace them with the bars that would normally be the side rails of the top plate, and just extended those down into the base plate to act as a guide themselves. They would also double now as an alignment system for the base plate. On top of that, we also were able to taper a lot of the edges for the top plate and the pins, as well as extend the size of the wheel wells just slightly enough so when we were to separate the top plate from the base plate, it would not snag and cause the parts to just fly everywhere out of the base.